Hey guys, it's me, Rena from Snailworks Crochet, and today's video is gonna be more of like a staycation, cozy vlog type of video. As you may know, I've been traveling a lot recently, so I finally took some vacation, and I'm going to use that as a staycation type of thing. And I'm just gonna take you along for what I do on a staycation. So it's Saturday morning right now. I woke up too late to go to the gym, but I did feed my sourdough starter that I started earlier this week. And so as a result, I'm feeding it because I think it's day 5 now where I need to feed it constantly. So I'm gonna have to feed it again later today. But I have a lot of discard right now, so I'm thinking of making some pancakes with the discard.
Hey, editing Rena here. So when I was filming these vlogs, I genuinely did not know this until basically right now, but you are technically not supposed to be using young sourdough discard because there is potential for pretty harmful bacteria that might upset your stomach. I'm fine. The people who ate my food are fine. But just for liability's sake, I want to say don't do this. And I do think what I did do with it, I kept it in the fridge and, cooked everything like either in baking or in pancake form. But yeah, just FYI, don't do what I did.
I looked up a vegan pancake recipe because I didn't have any eggs. I do plan on buying eggs later. I just don't want to do that right now. I really hope this turns out okay. I've always wanted to be a cooking YouTuber, but I don't have the editing skills to do that. So I will live out my life being a cooking YouTuber through this vlog because I will be doing a lot of cooking this week. So much cooking, but I love cooking, so it's fine. I was also looking up some other recipes of what to do with sourdough discard too, and one idea was actually kimchi pancakes, which sounds absolutely amazing. I totally will do it because I bought some kind of mid kimchi. I bought it from Giant Eagle because I didn't feel like going to the Asian grocery store at the time, but I wanted kimchi. And the kimchi I bought from Giant Eagle, they're more of a sauerkraut company than kimchi, so it didn't have the shrimp paste or fish sauce equivalent, which is kind of what makes kimchi taste good, is that fish umami. So it was kind of okay, but I think it'll be good in like kimchi pancake form. Very bubbly, as you can see right here. And this is just my discard. I'm not good at making pancakes, so I can only do one at a time. Ooh. Okay, I've done a good chunk of vegetable prepping of all the stuff I bought, and let me show you what I did prep because some of it I'm saving for later and some of it I'm cooking right now. So in my freezer, I have basically prepped a bunch of frozen hot pot vegetables. I'm gonna add meat to this when I do eventually buy the hot pot meat, but essentially it's a dump and boil type of hot pot. But basically it's a dump and boil hot pot meal prep, essentially, where you dump the frozen bag into a pot, cover it with water, add some sauce seasonings like miso paste or whatever, boil it, cook it, maybe add an egg or noodles, and you got a meal. It's the next morning, and I fed my sourdough starter already, but it's not rising, and I'm kind of concerned because, it was at this level, when I checked on it last time, and then it was like this morning. To be fair, I just fed it, so it's not doing much now, but I'm kind of concerned that I'm doing something wrong, even though I can tell it's still alive, but it's just not rising.
Despite my sourdough starter not acting the way it should, I did make some sourdough discard crackers, that I will be giving to my friends today. To make this a little bit more about crochet, I am going to my friend's place for a craft day. So I'm going to bring a craft, and I have my craft right here. I'm planning on bringing the dragon hat that I've been working on. I have the base made. I just need to make all the features and other parts of the outfit I have. So I will work on that today. Also, in general, I think for this week, I want to have a goal of each day I work on at least one of my whips that I have accompanying planned videos for, which is actually a lot more than you think. For example, I have my dragon hat, which is a video plan. I have my temperature blanket, which is just my temperature blanket. I have like a sweater, which is a third video. And I have the blanket squares from the box of 500 that I still need to work on. And all of those have accompanying videos with it. So I want to at least get some done, or if not completely done, a good chunk of it worked on while I have this week off. I never realized that Joann's had the Juicy Couture fabric too, but it makes a lot more sense with the yarn line. Okay, so I ended up going to Joann's today with my friends, and let me show you what I ended up getting. I was looking through all of the stuff they had. I looked through the yarn. There was no yarn. Okay, there was some yarn, but not a lot. So I didn't buy yarn, but let me show you what I picked up. The first thing I picked up was this yarn swift, because I have been wanting one of these for a while, and especially if I want to buy fancier yarn, which comes in hanks, I'm gonna need one of these because, oh boy, I have dealt with a hank without one of these before. It sucks. Awful. Terrible. Don't recommend. So I know I will need this and use this, and it was like, what, $40? Maybe even cheaper because everything was on a discount. So I've been trying to get my hand on this for a while. Every time I'd go to a local yarn store, I'd be like, hey, do you have any yarn swifts? And they almost always say no. So I'm glad I got this. I got this marble wood type of photo frame. I don't have any photos to put in it, but I really liked it, so I bought it. And honestly, if and when I eventually get married, I'd like to put a wedding photo in here. I was also looking for some clothing patterns because eventually I want to try making baby clothes from repurposed material. So I bought a couple of patterns here to help me do that. We'll see if I ever make these or not. That's kind of a TBD, but I do need a sewing machine first. I was looking at the sewing machines at Joann's, but honestly, they were only 15% off, and I don't think it was that good of a deal for me to buy it there. I'm actually considering if and when I do buy a sewing machine, because I've been wanting a sewing machine for about a year or so at this point. I might use my company rewards points to buy it, because we have a system where you can send each other rewards points for like doing a particularly good job on something, and you can exchange them for actual items. Like I got an air fryer through it. I got my carry-on suitcase through that system. So I'm thinking I have a decent amount of points saved up for just work on projects that I've done. I might actually use those to buy myself a sewing machine. I think I have enough. And the last couple of things that I got were these two books. One is Art of Knitting hats. I do want to get more into knitting, and so far the only thing I can knit are hats in the round, because the only thing I've knit so far is the Chunky Knit Beanie by Passionate Kelsey. So I want to try knitting more hats. I bought myself a set of like interchangeable circular needles, and it's something I want to try out. So I think just having this whole collection of patterns to follow would be really cool. I can learn some techniques. And I already know how to knit in a round anyway, and I already know how to knit hats with circular needles, so it should be easy. And then this one is crocheting with sock weight yarn. I think this would be a good thing to have to give me some inspiration for patterns to make if and when I have yarn scraps or other projects and I'm feeling a little bit light on inspiration. I think I could probably figure something out here. So yeah, that's my Joann's haul. I also worked on a project too, and I got a decent amount of progress on this project, so I'm very happy about that. And right now I'm doing a kind of daily upload type of video where I roll dice to pick colors in a daisy coaster. So I had my friends roll the dice for me this time. It just says something special because I think the video I filmed yesterday I spoke only in Japanese. I'm thinking of making another version where I speak only in Chinese, but we'll see when that happens. The one I'm filming today is gonna have guest appearances. I do try to be like at least 2-ish days ahead, so that way I can kind of plan the videos, just because like it's fairly quick to film at least, but it, you know, like the timing has to be right and all that, so. So I just finished a workout and I went to the library to print off some documents because I need to print my updated car insurance card, especially since I'm going to be getting a state inspection soon. I haven't been inside a library for a hot while, and they're not wrong when they say that libraries are severely underrated, because they really are. Okay, I am going to show you in real life how I am going to take full advantage of this meal prep. We got frozen vegetables right here. You dump this into a small pot. I have some broad bean sauce right here, right in there. A little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of some wine, cooking wine. You can use mirin, sake, or I have this Chinese cooking wine right here. We're going to add chicken broth. If you don't have chicken broth, you can use water with some added chicken broth powder, or MSG, whatever you like, but I'm using chicken broth that I prepped a couple days ago. So, which is spilling everywhere. But you get the point. That looks good enough. Cover. Turn on stove. And then wait for this to boil and add tofu and eggs. I don't have meat because I didn't feel like buying meat, but that's essentially it. So I did not vlog yesterday because I didn't feel like it. But what I did do was clean up my place a little bit, not this room, just my place. And I went to a restaurant that I have been eyeing for the past 6 months. And it was great. It was very good. It was a food hall, and there was this bakery there that had a beignet that's just filled with whipped cream, and I love that stuff. So I bought it. It was fantastic. Love it. But what I did do was finish a whip that I had put off for half a year at this point. This thing right here. The video for it has probably been released already, but yeah, I'm really glad I finished it because I was kind of worried I didn't have a video planned for Saturday, and finishing this gave me Saturday's video because I had it in process and I was able to finish it, which was great. Now, unfortunately, my sourdough starter still needs some babying, and I have already had my dreams crushed on the potential of making sourdough this weekend. So yesterday when I finished my mandala, I decided to try starting a shawl because I've been wanting to try knitting more in general,
but I've never really been able to figure it out. But I did finally find a pattern that seemed easy enough for me to follow, which is this knitted shawl by Expression Fiber Arts. Basically, there's 2 rows that you just repeat back and forth all the time, and I think you will end it whenever you feel like it. And for me, I'm thinking I might use up the rest of this yarn to do that. If I like making this, I might try making another one with some of the leftover yarn from my hooks and needles kit too, but that's TBD. It took me a little bit of time to figure it out, but I think I've gotten the hang of it. I'm gonna work on this for a little bit while I watch some YouTube.
And I made pretty good progress on it the first night. I am still feeling motivated. It's the next day, and I want to work on this.
I got about this much done of whatever I was knitting. It's fine. It's not a lot, but it's also, you know, a reasonable amount because I'm slow at knitting. I'm using these like Chiagu needles, and I will say, because I haven't figured out how to knit properly, I have to like poke it whenever I like pull my stitches through, and it is kind of annoying, honestly. I don't know if I'm doing anything wrong, or maybe that's just life and I just have to suffer. So yeah, because these are very sharp.
Hello, it is Friday. I did not move at all yesterday, and it was absolutely fantastic, and I loved it. That being said, I need to actually do more than just sitting on my bed all day today. And I think my plan is that I want to try making sourdough discard cookies because I made my boyfriend get eggs yesterday because I didn't want to leave the house. So I'm going to try making some cookies with the sourdough discard. And speaking of the sourdough starter, I smelled it today and it still hasn't doubled at all, but it started smelling more like bread than like musty vinegar, which I'm assuming is a good thing. So I'm just going to keep at it. It's going to take a lot of babying, but one day I will get there. It will happen. I swear it will. Yes, I am going to make some cookies, and tonight I'm meeting up some friends to go bowling, which will be really fun. And also I'm hoping to try and do a crochet podcast video where I work on my temperature blanket a little bit, but we'll see if that happens. That's a maybe. Here are the sourdough cookies. I ate a couple and they're pretty good. Bowling plans got canceled, but I started a new knitting project, which is another chunky knit beanie. I'll probably just work on this and donate the hat later, but I decided to double strand this time and use up the remainder of a Lion brand mandala baby cake that I had partially finished from a starter blanket that I made earlier.
Could our machines now be turning against us?
Have androids become a threat to our security?
I ended up going out yesterday to a friend's place, and we basically did an entire playthrough from start to finish of a game called Detroit Become Human. It was very fun. It was a whole event, and I brought some knitting with me, actually. I had just started this maybe like a couple days ago, and I essentially finished the entire thing when I was there. But I was also there for 12 hours, so yeah. It turned out great. It's a double-stranded chunky knit beanie using the Passionate Kelsey knitting tutorial because that's the only thing I know how to knit. I used a partially used mandala baby cake that I had on hand, and I just double-stranded it from both ends and made this. I still have a decent amount left, but not enough to make anything significant in my opinion. So I'll just use the remainder of that yarn for like a scrap project. Today is Sunday before I have to go back to work again, and honestly, in terms of reflections of my staycation, it was fantastic. I actually feel very refreshed. It's funny because I think around like Wednesday or Thursday, I was starting to feel like, okay, I've been doing nothing for a while. I think it's time for me to go back to work. And honestly, that's kind of the feeling you want from any time off, is you want time to like do stuff, relax, and then be gone long enough to be like, okay, I can go back now. So I would say this is a success. So I will end my video here. Thank you for watching and I guess joining along for this staycation vlog, and see you next time. Bye!